All right. So again, welcome to the update on nonviolent actions to break the siege on Gaza. Again, my name is Sami Awad, and I am with you today from Bethlehem, Palestine, and I serve with Michael as co-directors of Nonviolence International. Just to share a little bit about Nonviolence International, Nonviolence International is a backbone organization for the global nonviolent movement. We provide fiscal sponsorship and training, and we spread knowledge and stories of nonviolent movements that give us hope in difficult times. And this is definitely today a story that is hopefully going to give us hope in such tragic times that we are facing in Palestine. Um, I am so happy to see so many people, again, from so many countries that I'm looking at the chat. And thank you for showing interest in the nonviolent movement. And thank you for your support for the Palestinian community. This week marks a tragic milestone on the war that has been launched on the Gaza Strip and the people of the Gaza Strip, where the recorded numbers of those who have been martyred and killed by the Israeli aggression has exceeded 40,000 individuals. This is an estimate that is connected also to the unknown number of men, women, and children who have been killed by the genocide that some estimates have made it reach 180,000 Palestinian, a number that none of us thought would be possible or even allowed by the international community in today's world. And so before we start, I would just like for us to take a few moments because we label these as numbers, but I just want us to reflect either with our eyes closed, our eyes opened, and just see pictures and images, even if we don't know them, of men, women, and children in Gaza today. The life that they live, the tragedy that they live. People searching for food, people searching for water, people searching for shelter, moving from place to place. Let us make sure that these are not just numbers, that these are men, women, and children that have smiled, that have cried, that have celebrated birthdays, celebrated weddings, and now tragically are killed or are on the brink of starvation, people who don't know what tomorrow might bring them. It is also very important in such tragic times that we continue to strive for a better tomorrow, to strive not only for a ceasefire, but for an end to this brutal occupation, to call and strive for freedom and justice and rights of the Palestinian people. In this webinar, we want to bring attention to the civil society global movement that continues to aim to break the siege of Gaza, bringing aid or allow aid to enter Gaza. It is also in the breaking of the siege, resisting those who are using starvation as a tactic of war, violating international law and the most basic values of our human rights and dignity. Today, we want to talk with activists from Hamdallah, the Freedom Flotilla, that many of you know and have followed throughout the months and, of course, throughout the years with the Freedom Flotilla movement that aims to break the siege in Gaza. And I want to first introduce our dear friend, Ann Wright, who will give a background and history of the Freedom Flotilla efforts to break the siege. Mary Ann Wright, as many of us know, is a retired U.S. Army colonel and retired State Department official, known for her outspoken opposition to the Iraq War and a very well-known peace activist. Members of Veterans for Peace and Code Pink, and is in the leadership of the Freedom Flotilla Coalition. And many of us know that she has been arrested more times than any of us can even count. So Ann, I want to welcome you, and please share with us about the Freedom Flotilla movement.
Well, thank you very much, Sami, and to you, Michael and Sami. We appreciate very, very much Nonviolence International wanting to host this webinar really on short notice to give an update on what is happening with the attempts to challenge citizens' attempts to challenge the horrific genocide that's going on in Gaza, the horrific treatment of Palestinians in the West Bank, and our citizen initiative, which started back in 2008 with the Free Gaza movement, that was to sail boats to try to break the illegal Israeli naval blockade of Gaza. And we have with us today, I'm watching all the people that are signing in. We have people who are on our steering committee. We have 14 national campaigns that are a part of the Gaza flotilla, and many of the steering committee members from those national campaigns that I see here. We have people who have been on the Handala, the boat that we'll talk specifically about today. And I see quite a few people who were with us in Istanbul in April and May as we tried to break the siege ships out of Turkey to have another part of this whole movement of citizen activism to challenge the Israeli everything about what Israel is doing to Gaza and the West Bank, to Palestinians, but particularly our efforts on the sea to challenge Israel. What I'll do is to give a quick rundown of what has happened since 2008 and the numbers of boats that we've had. You can see the pictures of the boats and the big boats, the little boats and all. And then we'll turn it over to our team that is actually on the Handala right now in Malta in the hot afternoon on the ship itself. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and we will get going with let's see, share. Okay, so for 16 years, we have been trying to challenge, well, we have been challenging the Israeli naval blockade of Gaza and using small boats. And it all started in 2008 with the Free Gaza movement and two tiny little fishing vessels that came out of Cyprus. And here's one of them. And as you can see, these are the only boats that ever have gotten into Gaza so far. With the Free Gaza movement, 44 people on two boats. And you can see on the quay wall, all the people that had come down from Gaza City to see these boats the first time in 40 years. These types of boats had come in. And you can see the kids in the water that are swimming over to the boats, and guys standing on the traditional fishing boats of Gaza that are right there beside it. Okay, now let's see. And here's a view of the folks that were on one of the two ships as it was approaching Gaza for the first time. As you can see, it's an open boat. Most of the people on it, as I understand it, got seasick on the way. It was quite a trip for them, but it was, the citizen activism to go to say, we need to challenge this. And this was in 2008. Okay. Here's another view of the boats. This was taken from a newspaper article, and the color's not too good, and here's another scene of one of the boats on the quay as it docked with the tens of thousands of people that came down from Gaza City to greet these boats and the kids in the water. I mean, it was a momentous occasion that is still remembered very, very well by the people in Gaza. Here we have a young woman from Ireland that was standing on the bow, waving to the thousands and thousands of people as they were getting ready to dock. So we know the people of Gaza these days, even though it was 2008 was the year that these boats got in, every time we sail, no matter that we get stopped by the Israeli government miles and miles off Gaza, people do come down to the beach to look out just to see if they can see these boats. And here's Huwaida Arif, who is one of the co-founders of the Free Gaza movement and also the International Solidarity Movement, standing on the bow of one of the boats. You see Jeff Halper over on the other boat. He's the coordinator for No House Demolitions. We had the Free Gaza movement had quite a group of people that were volunteered to go on these boats and sit in Cyprus for quite a few weeks as everything got put together. Being patient with boats and with coordination is a thing that started in 2008 and it continues today, as we'll tell you in just a little while. Okay, we'll go on. So those two little boats actually got into Gaza. It was the first time in 40 years boats have gotten in, and it is the last time that the boats have gotten in. In the latter days of 2008, more vessels were sent by the Free Gaza movement, including the Dignity that you see here, a larger, much larger boat that had, I think, 20 some odd people, to include Nobel Peace Laureate Maureen Maguire was on this one. One of the former U.S. Congress women was on it. A CNN person, the only time we've had CNN on any of these boats. And the Israeli military ended up ramming it so badly that it almost sunk and it limped into, I think it was one of the harbors in Lebanon. But that was the last time that the flotilla actually got very close to Gaza. And that was in 2008. And if you remember, in late 2008, that's when the CAS-led Israeli operation that killed, I believe it was 1,400 people in 27 days in its attack on Gaza. And then since then, none of the ships that we have had have actually gotten into Gaza. You can read about the Free Gaza movement and the remarkable work of the people that organized these boats and how they got in the book called Freedom Sailors. It's an excellent, excellent book. The next stage in the next stage of the flotilla happened after 2009 and the Israeli CAS-led attack that killed so many people and destroyed so much of Gaza at the time. And now we see that what the Israelis have done is in magnitude so much higher than what happened. But in 2010, we had a seven ship flotilla, and it was headed up by the Mavi Marmara, the passenger ship Mavi Marmara that had over 600 people in it. It sailed from Istanbul, Turkey, and was sponsored by IHH, a very large Turkish NGO with whom we work, and we'll tell you more about that in a minute. But the Mavi Marmara and 7 other ships set sail, and 3 days later, the Israelis, the commandos, attacked the Mavi Marmara, killing 9 people, and 1 person died later. So 10 persons actually died from commando actions, Israeli commando actions on the Mavi Marmara. You can see here, if you look up to the top, there is a helicopter, and it was from the helicopter that several people were shot on the deck of the Mavi Marmara. And you can see in the foreground one of the many commando boats that circled the boat and started firing into the boat, into the Mavi Marmara itself. And that's where many of the other 50 were wounded from the shots from these boats. These pictures were taken from the boat that I was on, the Challenger 1. Each one of the boats, there were cargo ships, there were larger passenger, not as large as the Mavi Marmara, but the Spindoni had about 50 people that were on it. You can see all of the commando ships going over to stop that. People were on all of the ships. People were beaten up. Some were tasered. All were arrested and taken to the port of Ashdod and then put in Israeli prison. And and ultimately deported. And 10 people were killed, 50 people were wounded, as I mentioned. And so that caused a great international uproar that what the Israelis had been doing to Palestinians on killing them at will, that there were actually internationals that were killed. And the outcry was substantial. The Turkish government actually sued senior members of the Israeli military, although it really went nowhere. It did not stop the flotilla idea from going ahead. And then the next year in 2000, well, here's some of the other boats that were a part of the 2010. These are the Challenger 1 and Challenger 2 boats, small craft, each with about 20 people on them. Later on in 2010, there was what was called the Jewish Ship to Gaza, a small sailboat that had about 12 people that were on it. And you can see that small sailboat being stopped by the Israeli military forces, the forces there. Then in 2011, we had 10 boats that were formed as a flotilla. And I just put this in here to show you that there was a lot of international opposition to our flotilla. That the Secretary General, Ban Ki-moon, was saying, no, the flotilla should not go. The US, of course, warned against the flotilla. Canada warned its nationals not participate in the flotilla. Turkey urged people not to participate in the flotilla. And the Greek government actually stopped the flotilla. 10 of the ships were stopped before they could actually leave Greece, although there were attempts that were made to get out anyway. And this is just one of the photos of one of the 10. And I put in the one from the US, the Audacity of Hope, which we named because Barack Obama had just become president. 2 of the ships, the Audacity of Hope and the Tahir, the Canadian and Australian boat that was down in Crete, attempted to leave and were met with commandos, Greek commandos this time, to stop us. So in the summer of 2011, none of the boats that were actually up in Athens and then down in Crete actually left. But there was a little small French boat called the Dignité that escaped and was able actually to sail toward Gaza in July of 2011. Then in November of 2011, the Tahir and the Shorsi quietly left Greek waters, got into Turkey, and then sailed. So they were able to actually challenge the blockade. They too were stopped, arrested, taken to Israeli prison, and deported, the people on those boats. In 2012, we had the large sailing boat from Sweden called the Estelle, and it attempted to break the blockade. As you can see, it's a very big, beautiful sailing boat. And then in 2015, we had the Mary Ann fishing vessel that came from Sweden, I believe it was again. And we also had with it some sailboats that we leased in Greece. They did not go so far as to be stopped by the Israelis, but the Mary Ann did. In 2016, we had the women's boat to Gaza. We had two sailboats that actually attempted to leave. The one you see on the left, the Zaytuna Olivia, actually made the entire journey to challenge the Israeli blockade. The second boat, Amal, had difficulties as we were leaving the first port of Barcelona and was unable to join us. And I mention that because not everything goes perfectly, and we make all the arrangements we can, but you never can tell. They're called boats, and boats do sometimes what they want to. And the Amal, which we had prepared so greatly, was unable to make that journey. You see the people on the right, the women on the right, including Nobel Peace Laureate Marie McGuire. We have women that were from Spain, from Italy, from Australia, from New Zealand, from Malaysia. So it was quite a group of women that actually made the final voyage there. Then we had, oh no, wait a minute, there should be 2018. There we go. In 2018, we had Al-Ada and Freedom, two of the boats of the four boats that we had that year. Al-Ada and Freedom actually were able to challenge the blockade. The participants and crew were taken to Israeli prison, arrested, and deported. And then the other two small sailboats had gone down the waterways and canals of Central Europe through the Netherlands, Belgium, France, on quite a remarkable voyage. The first time we'd ever attempted to go through Central Europe, stopping at ports along the way. And that's one of the missions of the flotilla, is to stop in ports to give solidarity with Palestine committees and solidarity groups there, which they have great celebrations for the boat coming in. And it is a way to help educate their larger communities using these boats as a vehicle to what is going on in Gaza and the West Bank. We do have difficulties, and you can see from the middle picture, one of the boats in Paris is being escorted by French police, maritime police, and our event that we were to have at a symposium on the banks of the Seine River had to be moved to a different place, as the police would not let us stop in Paris after all. So it's always a challenge. The international implications of these boats trying to bring more attention to what Israel is doing to Palestinians is controversial, as we all know, and we have nations that will try to stop us, as we did in Greece in 2011, when the Greek government has now stopped all movement of ships, flotilla ships, out of Greek waters. So we can no longer stop in Greece. Cyprus is the same way. We cannot stop there. In 2000, well, let me go back. Well, 2003, 2023, and 24, we have the Hondola. The Hondola in 2023 went on a northern European swing through about 15 different ports, stopping in and having educational events, and then going back to Sweden, to Norway, where she wintered over. And I see that in our audience is Arne from Norway, who is the keeper of Hondola, and he was the one that during the cold winter, while she was actually frozen in, he was the one that would, I guess, ice skate out to her to make sure she was okay. And if you look in the background of the ship right now, back by the guy that has his hand up, you see the snow on the mountains. And that's when the Hondola was brought out of ice and started moving down toward Oslo, and then began on the 1st of May, what is turning out to be a 3.5, almost 4-month trip, that stopping in over 20 ports to again raise the awareness of people about what's going on in Gaza. And here's just one of a symbol of what happens every time we go into a port. Tons and tons, lots and lots of people are there to welcome the Hondola and invite the members of the crew and the participants into their community with all sorts of community events. And here's a picture of just one of the stops where we have the crew and the participants that are a part of that. A wonderful team that has that we move people in and out, both on the crew and the participants, so that as many people as possible can participate on this wonderful opportunity. The Hondola is currently in Malta, and we'll be hearing reports from our team that is in Malta, but I thought I would just give you a few shots, pictures of the Hondola coming in. On the left, you see the Hondola and the great fortifications of Malta, and here's one of them with the Palestinian flag being dropped as the Hondola came through. And then just a few of the graphics, the wonderful graphics that are painted on each one of the ships that we've ever had. That's artists in the areas where we go into come up with some wonderful, wonderful designs for our ship. I'll stop with the gondola and then go on to a second project that we have, which is called Break the Siege. And I see quite a few people that are on the webinar that were with us in Istanbul as we attempted in April of this year to move 3 ships. One of them, this very large passenger ship called the Akdeniz, and also a smaller ship that's over on the right, and then a large cargo ship, trying to move all 3 of those ships at once in what was called Break the Siege. Unfortunately, the Turkish government has not given permission for the 2 passenger ships to depart from Turkey. Initially, it was a problem with the flagging of the ships, as we were just about ready. I mean, the night before we were to put participants onto the ships and leave from Istanbul, we were notified by one of the countries that had the flag on it that the flag was being taken. We've been working through all of that, but now it's the Turkish government that is not giving approval for the departure of the 2 passenger ships. The large cargo ship, though, has been able to move massive amounts of humanitarian assistance, over 5,500 tons of humanitarian medical assistance and long shelf life food have been moved to El Arish, the harbor in Egypt, and loaded onto trucks, and then joining the long miles and miles of trucks that are waiting to get into Gaza. So the cargo ship has been able to leave. Just to mention to you, we try to keep track of all these ships. So on the back of our T-shirts now, we have listed all of the ships that we've had that have sailed, over 35 of them that have sailed. And then we do have lots and lots of resources about the missions of all of these things since 2008. And if you go on to our website, which is freedomflotilla.org, you'll see lots and lots of resources about that. Before I go on to the next part, I'll stop sharing screen and turn the program over to our great team that is in Malta right now on the gondola. We'd like to show you a quick, just a 2-minute video that was done by Drago, our coordinator for our flotilla campaign in Brazil, a video that he has just made. And let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it's over here. Okay.
Okay, it's time for an update. Hello everyone, I'm Thiago Avila, a Brazilian internationalist and communicator. I'm an organizer of the Freedom Flotilla, and right now I'm on board the gondola, our boat on our humanitarian mission, sailing towards Gaza. After this mission for the children of Gaza left Norway on May the 1st and been through almost 20 ports around Europe, we are now in Malta. It has been amazing how much the Maltese people and the local solidarity groups with Palestine have received the Freedom Flotilla with so much kindness, with so much effort in all of our agendas, in all of our preparation, because Malta was very important for us to resupply for our mission, to organize a lot of stuff, to say goodbye to a lot of the amazing people that brought the gondola so far on this mission, and to say hello, to greet and to train our new crew and participants. It has been amazing to be here and seeing the community showing up on our boat, giving their support, giving their attention, and cheering for our mission for the children of Gaza. I'm actually so honored to be on board the gondola right now with people from 14 different nationalities that comes from all walks of life, but that dedicates their lives to the Palestinian people, to the Palestinian liberation, and to the liberation of all humanity. There's people here that have been doing the most amazing work non-stop, not only since October, but since many years, because we always say that it didn't start in October. It's part of a genocide and ethnic cleansing for 76 years, a military occupation since 1967 that established a colonialist, settler, apartheid state, and always ruled by the worst racist and supremacist ideology of our generation, which is Zionism. So it's very important for everyone who hopes that you can live in a world of freedom, a world of joy, a world of love, a world of peace, that we gather strength together. Please follow the Freedom Flotilla, follow our international page, follow the people that are on board the Handala. Our safety on this humanitarian mission towards Gaza depends directly on your attention and your help to share our content and to make this effort visible for everyone. We are together, a big hug, and let's break the siege and let's free Palestine.
Our team that's in Malta right now, go ahead and talk about what's going on. And then if we can get this back so that you can actually see this, because it's a wonderful, wonderful description of what happens with the Handla when it comes into ports. So
and I'll say, and we will definitely have the video in the chat as well for people to look into and share as well.
Thank you. Well, I think we have in Malta right now, Triago, why don't you introduce everybody that's at the table and give us a view of what's happening in Malta right now. Thank you.
Thank you. And can you hear as well?
Yes.
Yes.
We hear you very well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sami. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's a pleasure for us to be part of this webinar and to share amazing experience with people that have been struggling to change the world in many, many, many ways. So my name is Thiago Avila. I'm a member of the steering committee of the Freedom Flotilla representing the Brazil campaign. And I'm very glad to be here on board the Handala with two amazing people. The first is Yasmin from Germany as well. And the second is Stan from Australia. So we have 3 continents with us right now here on board the Handala, but we actually have more. Can you hear it okay?
Yes.
I'm sorry. But the connection here is not that good. Actually, we wanted to give a tour of the Handala, but the problem is the connection will not sustain it. It would be amazing for you to see all the handwritings, all the drawings, all the art that has been doing here. And it's actually amazing to see that every port, almost the 20 ports that the Handala has been so far, like Ann said, we have the privilege to be among amazing local group solidarity movements with Palestine, and they have been doing such an amazing work, like providing us with support, sharing the community, raising awareness, doing grassroots work. So every port we have been so far, the last 3 stops, for example, we are right now in Malta. Prior to that, we were in Messina, in Sicily, and prior to that, we were in Ajaccio, in Corsica. And the last 3 stops have been so amazing. We go to demonstrations, we help to raise awareness, we share experience of social movements on how to improve our work collectively. And we always say, like what Ann was showing, that it's part of a continuum of actions. We always say that we are part right now of a global uprising of people doing everything, doing boycott, divestments, and sanctions, camping in front of our factories, blocking boats, and doing so much effort, so much collective work, and Handala is part of it. So I'm actually very glad to be here. We have people here that have been on board for more than 2 months. For example, Felipe, who's also a steering committee member, is part of the boat right now. We have our Captain Welu, we have Ifa, and other people that are coming here. Some people join, some people leave, because it's a collective effort. So the Handala so far has been a very successful mission to raise awareness. And right now, we are switching to a new phase of the mission, to go to a more nonviolent direct action mission. And that's why we brought reinforcements for people from all walks of life, from many countries of the world. And they have been here. Some of them will sail with us, some of them will not sail, but will be part of the land team to be more supported. That's the case of 10, for example. And we've been here doing our best to be useful, to support Palestine, because we do this for them. We've been giving press conferences, we've been attending to some activities from the local committee. And it's been a pleasure to be here, actually. I really wanted you to be able to get to know everyone's story here, because so many amazing people that have been doing such an inspiring work in their home countries. And I actually would really appreciate if you could get to know more the people from the Handala. So please share the Gaza Freedom Flotilla pages. Please come with us on this journey. It doesn't matter if you are on the boat or out of the boat, you can be part of this mission with us. And as soon as you get to know more people, you understand how much collective strength we have. And to start with that, I really would like you to get to know one person that is a force of nature, that has been through such a hard time in her home country because of police repression. That is Yasmin from Germany, an amazing person. I'm so honored to be here with her.
Hi, everyone. I'm Yasmin from Germany, specifically Berlin. Thank you for making this happen. I'm very happy to be speaking to you all today with two amazing people and so many more on board. I'm not sure if there are any people in the call from Germany. Oh yeah, I see in the chat. Great. So yeah, I've been in Malta for some time, getting to know the boat and the crew, everyone involved, the steering committee, and it's been a pleasure. It's very hot here, very hot. But I'm hearing that Berlin is also very hot at the moment, so you did get some summer. I'm happy to hear. I'm sure a lot of people already know what's been going on in Germany. I call it the belly of the monster. Since the beginning of October, you know, our right to protest, our right to assembly has been taken away, or at least they tried. We were persistent because this is a fight for justice, and it is very important to amplify the voice of Palestinians. And a lot of people in Berlin and around the world have been doing that even before October, because this is an ongoing struggle, an ongoing ethnic cleansing. And what we're facing right now is the ongoing genocide for 10 months, which Germany is financing, the second biggest weapons supplier. And being a German citizen, I'm very ashamed, and I had to face the fact that I'm also very disappointed, because I didn't know that all of us living in Germany, we could be treated in such a way like we are nothing. We've been called terrorists, anti-Semite, all of these things, even though we're out here fighting for human rights and the freedom of Palestinians who deserve to be free. And I'm very happy to be a part of this mission. Thank you to everyone, making this happen. It is such an important mission, a direct action, which I think should be taken more. And I encourage everyone to take direct actions. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say because I was thinking about direct action. Yeah, I'm just really honored to be here and to take this, to be part of this, and to show Germany that this is a humanitarian mission, and everything that Germany is not doing, international people from all around the world are trying to do. And I think if we had leaders and politicians who can do their jobs right, and who are actually about human rights laws as they claim, and about democracy, we would have not been screaming and yelling for 10 months, and especially Palestinians, who have not been heard for way too long. And yeah, I talked a lot. I'm going to give over to amazing Tan, and that I had the honor to meet here as well.
Hey everyone, I'm Tan. So my role here is as the social media producer, shooter, editor, and reporter. I was born in so-called Australia, but my heritage is Palestinian, Lebanese, Syrian. So I've been fighting for Palestinian justice and against the colonial system since day dot, from the very beginning, since I can remember. And I was initially part of the Freedom Flotilla Coalition back in Turkey. So I haven't been back home for a few months now, just creating content to raise awareness about all of our amazing participants and the crew who have been working so hard to make the Break the Siege mission possible, and to bring Hamdallah to where it is today. It's been a roller coaster. it's going to take a lifetime to process everything that's happened. Definitely some days are more exhausting than others, but it has been an absolute gift to grow up in a world where I've felt completely alone and insane with this fight for justice that I saw no one else around me mirror, to finally be with people who care just as much and who are willing to put everything on hold, on pause, and put others before their immediate lives. It's just been the most touching thing. It's given me a lot of hope and love, and that also includes some of you who are watching right now. I see all your comments. I run the social media page. I see your DMs, as much of them as I can, and I appreciate the support. It really does mean the world. So thank you for having me today, and let's keep moving forward to free Gaza.
Thank you very much for bringing the life on board Hondola, and I can see the sweat already on your brows as it is hot. It is hot. Well, one of the great challenges that we have always is keeping the boat running and keeping things moving. And just to let you all know that we are working with a 25-year-old fishing vessel, and we've had some challenges with her. In Ajaccio, we had to have some maintenance done. We've had to have some done in Messina, Sicily, and we're going to have more done in Malta. But she's a solid boat. We've got a great captain. The crews that we keep moving in and out are so dedicated to the mission and to keeping Hondola going. So thank you again for those of you all on the Hondola in Malta for being with us. And Sami, we'll turn it back to you for any questions that people may have in the audience. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, everyone. This is so encouraging. Thank you for the work you're doing, the commitment, the dedication that you're giving this work. We know it is not easy, but you are doing the right thing, and we honor you for this work. I want to start with one question in terms of the timeline. What's next? How are things going to move next? What are you expecting to happen? Movement towards Gaza. Everything you've done so far has been amazing and incredible, of course, creating the awareness, creating the advocacy. But where do you see things moving next now from Malta, heading towards Gaza?
Triaco, go ahead.
Thank you so much for your question. Today we have an important meeting because every day life on the boat is pretty different. So every day we say we had to build a raft using toothpicks. It's like a very challenging everyday life here. And we're doing our best to resupply everything that we have. Along the way, we have a lot of, as Ann said, it's quite an old boat, and we have been making a lot of repairs, a lot of preparation. So right now we are reorganizing our estimated time for departure. We were supposed to leave tomorrow. We will not be able to leave tomorrow anymore. But in the next few days, we will be sailing. So we'll always keep people updated to it. And of course, we'll be doing our best here to be more useful with the Malta support group and of course, more useful to the mission. It's not like people here come with a lot of challenges in their personal life. Every person is a universe in itself. So every person has so many things to deal with. And those changes of schedule are quite challenging for us. But we know this is not about us. It's about the people of Gaza, the Palestinian people on its whole. And so we're trying to do our best. You can be sure that whenever we have a small delay, we are doing our best to go as soon as possible. And hopefully in the next few days, we'll be sailing towards Gaza on our mission. And we'll be counting so much on you because our safety and the safety of this mission and the whole idea of raising awareness for the children of Gaza depends on our collective effort on communication, on grassroots mobilizing. So hopefully we'll sail in a few days. It will not be today, but in a few days we will. Thank you.
Wonderful. And then this is such an important point that you said, to create the pressure. This is why it's very important for all of us who are here to continue pushing our politicians, reaching our politicians to inform them of the Freedom Flotilla, freedom of Handala, and to advocate for their safe arrival into Gaza and bringing the aid and solidarity to the people of Gaza. Thank you for that. We want to now open for a few questions from our audience, and we want to encourage those who have questions to raise their hand. There's the mark at the bottom that you could raise your hand to ask a question, and then try to make them short and precise questions as much as possible, not much commentary. We want to take advantage of our guests here. And so if there are any questions that people have, please raise your hand. Frank, I see you have a question. Yes, Frank Romero. You're unmuted.
Hi, Sami. Hi, Ann and Tan and everybody. I love you guys. And I have a question, Ann. In one of your statements, you said, there was an implication, but I started imagining things, that the possibility of other boats joining the Handala. And then right away, I imagine it was, maybe it's going to be like Dunkirk, and many boats join, like the boats that came from England to help the British and some French soldiers to flee Dunkirk, could join massively. I started imagining crazy stuff. But my question is it possible that other boats can join? Of course, they have to be insured, and it has to be authorized and official with the Handala and not working independently. Is that possible?
Well, at a certain point, we may put out a call for other boats. But as you mentioned, it's it's a challenge on coordination and things like that. But the more boats, the better. A flotilla is better than just one little boat. So at a certain point, we will be evaluating when and where we could ask for other folks to join us, because it is, and if you can't join us on the Mediterranean, you can join us on the lakes and rivers and swimming pools, or wherever you can find some water. Do something with a boat to bring attention to what our tiny boats in the Mediterranean are trying to do. There are flotillas that are out there. There are armadas that are out there. The Eastern Mediterranean is filled with military vessels that are a part of the genocide of Gaza. All of the countries, particularly the United States, has at least 6, if not probably 10 more on its way to protect Israel. So, this is a mission that's fraught with a lot of challenges, because we may be running into some of these military ships from other nations. And so please keep everybody in their thoughts. And as we work through this and we find an opportunity to let you all know that it would be good for other boats, if you know people in Greece, Turkey, wherever it is, let them know, that joining the Handala at a certain point may be a really good thing. And that's about all we can tell you right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Khalid, Jamal, you could unmute yourself.
Hi everyone. Hi Frank. Hi Ann. Nice seeing you guys. Just for people that had never met me before, I've been part of a BTS-1. I was in Turkey with Ann and Frank trying to get on the Freedom Flotilla, but we tried our best. It didn't work out, and there was a slight possibility of BTS-2, and that didn't work out. Turkey's not releasing the ships. I just, what's the name of the guy again? I keep on forgetting his name. Who I met in Turkey, the guy from Brazil.
Well, he's right here on the thing, Triago.
Shranko.
Yeah, Triago.
Yeah.
He's here.
Yeah, I have a question for him. So
yeah, please.
Yeah. So what happened is that when I heard about the Handala is in Malta, I know it's like at full capacity and things like that. But then I contacted some people. I contacted U.S. campaign, and they submitted my application, my request as a backup in case like there's an availability that happened, if someone dropped out, something like that, if I could meet them on a different port other than Malta on the way there. So do you have any statuses on that? Because I'm really, really anxious, hoping that I could get that call and just pack up and leave and meet you guys.
Khaled, thank you so much for your question. And it's so important that we have been receiving so much support. Like Ann said, of all of the missions we were programming for this year, we were preparing for this year, the Handala mission being the single one that gets all the way here and now towards Gaza was the less likely probability. So we had huge boats, 1,000 people from over 30 countries, and now we have this tiny little boat, but still steadfast, still very brave and going with all the effort that we are giving here and still going. So we have today, actually tonight, we have a meeting of steering committee meeting that are gathering all the national campaigns, because the Freedom Flotilla Coalition gathers campaigns from many, many different countries. And we are always discussing those things. So people for who is on board and with delays, how can we manage those things? And people that wants to come in, it's amazing to see that on BTS 1, for example, thousands and thousands of people applied to come to our mission. And this is actually amazing, because for some people think in an individualistic way of thinking that people will not step up to do something that, of course, has a high risk level. But actually, we have a lot of amazing people, like Khaled, like everyone here. So it's very nice to be able to count with all of this energy, with all of this effort, and we do our best to honor it. And we're always trying to organize it as best as we can, my brother. So you can keep on touch with our national campaign as well, and the steering committee members, because we need all this energy and effort to fulfill our objective on this mission. Thank you so much.
So just give you a quick update.
And I talked to just a minute, Khalid, just a minute. Let me just explain how this works. We have a very limited number of positions on the boat. We try to do as many nationalities as we can, as you can imagine, and we try to do a balance on having women and men, because it's not good if you only have one woman on the boat, we get put in prison. We've got to have a balance. So this is a balancing act, and we definitely have your name in the mix should we need another American citizen. So don't worry about it. Your name's in the mix, and we will be evaluating how many positions we need to fill coming out of Malta. So if your name comes up, we'll let you know as fast as possible, because I know you're in the mix, Frank's in the mix. We got a lot of people who have expressed interest. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, this is wonderful.
Thank you, and just to let you know real quick, I got an email a little bit ago that all my stuff from the U.S. campaign was sent over as a backup, and one of my big, and Ann already knows this, but one of my big fortes is I'm a swimming instructor. Been doing it for 25 years, and I have a lot of swimming survival skills, things like that, et cetera, et cetera. So if anything comes up, I'm ready to come and meet you guys.
We hope we don't need that skill. But good to have it. Thank you. Thanks, Kelly.
Right. Thank you, Khaled. I want to ask Bridget to ask your question.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, it's my husband's name, but
that's why I went with the family name. I guess you were not Kevin.
No, he's currently not here right now. So yeah, so I'm to quickly introduce myself. I'm originally from Germany, but living in London. And at the moment, I am terrified to go home and visit family, because seeing the news and being in Germany, whenever I am in Germany, I see so much fear and hatred. I guess my question is particularly directed at Yasemin. How risky is that mission when I'm thinking of Rachel Corrie and other people who have given their lives to protest peacefully? I'm honestly worried for your safety, because I don't think that the German government will step up and help in case anything happens. So are you guys being safe? And how are you gonna make sure that you're gonna get the help you need in case it comes down to it?
Yeah, I didn't get your name. I'm sorry. It says Kevin, but it's your husband's name, right?
Yeah, Kate.
Kate. Hi, Kate. Pleasure meeting you. So yeah, Germany, I mean, I think everyone sees it, the crackdown on the Palestine movement and how they're treating the people that advocate for justice and peace and humanity. And, you know, Germany, the way Germany is treating Palestinians, it wouldn't surprise me that that if something would happen, that they wouldn't raise a finger, because we do know that Germany is also making people sign certain papers when they apply for citizenship, you know. And so Germany has shown itself to be very fascist and a country that has not learned from its past, unfortunately. It's very disappointing for probably for you, not being in Germany but being German. So look, I feel like I have the choice. I have the choice to make Palestinians don't. So I'm using my privilege, really, to go on this mission, because I think it's very, very important to also show Germany that, you know, what shitty job they're doing, you know, at respecting or upholding human rights. So yeah, that's why, you know, whatever happens, I have the choice, and again, Palestinians don't, and we will do anything necessary to show the world, especially including Germany, that they're complicit in this. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Yasmin.
Yes, thank you very much for taking the time, and again, I hope you're safe. And if you ever need my help from offline, I have a toddler at home, but I'm a marketing specialist, so I have time. I'm at home, so please reach out to me if you need any help.
Maybe it's also very important to mention quickly, you know, for people in this call from Germany, I think because we know that the German media is not really, you know, they're spreading propaganda, and they're trying to shut down everything that could possibly help Palestine and Palestinians in Gaza and the whole of Palestine, to share really what Thiago said, all the videos, everything that you can find, to share and to let people know about this mission. And you can organize yourselves in your home cities, you know, wherever you are, and organize your little events. And you can always contact me or all of us if there's any help needed.
Okay, and Sami, if I could,
sorry.
If I could just mention on your,
Yes,
if you'll put your email in so we can contact you, but just to get back to the dangers of this, if our boat runs into some military ship somewhere or the Israelis, it is so important that each one of you all contact your national government to say, treat these people, it is your responsibility to not let harm come from the Israelis or any other military force. So it's really, really useful for you all to mount a campaign to say what the people that are on the flotilla have done is they are not terrorists. They are not lawbreakers. They may not be doing what you, the national government, want them to do, but they are standing up for humanity. They have a conscience, which you national governments don't. So we need all of you all to help us out if something happens. Thank you. Okay.
Definitely. Thank you. We have a few more questions. I know I want to try to take them all in. So Larry, and then Dr. Mazen. Larry, please.
Okay. Hello and salamat. In the beginning of July, I was visiting my family in New York. I live in Germany, but I was visiting my family in New York. And in your honor, I took a ferry ride. So that's the scene from the Staten Island ferry in New York. And I was thinking of you. My question is short, I hope. Can I assume that you've all been to Gaza or been to occupied Palestine before? Or are you a lot of you going in blindly and with a lot of hope?
Thiago, go ahead.
Thank you, and thank you, Larry. We have a lot of people here with different walks of life, and they've all been doing a lot of solidarity work for Palestine for many, many years. And actually, during this, we had so many people joining the Handala in the last almost 4 months that there was actually some people that woke up to the apartheid state, to colonialism, to genocide and ethnic cleansing in the last 10 months. But mostly, especially right now, when we're getting to the final leg of our mission, people more experienced are stepping up for this final leg. And we're seeing that most of the people had already the experience of going to Palestine, but not all of them. Some can't because of the problem, no right of return, for example, and so many other stuff. But most of the people have been doing amazing solidarity work in their home countries. Me personally, I've been to Palestine. I've been to the West Bank. The territory is occupied in 1948. I tried to reach Gaza from north and from the east in 2019. Was not allowed in. 2023 in November, we tried to go on a global conscience convoy through Egypt to open the Rafah border. We were not successful by land. On April, we tried to go by west and the Freedom Flotilla by sea. So basically, I tried to get to Gaza from all directions so far, and hopefully, eventually, I'll be part of a mission that actually breaks the siege and we'll get to Gaza. But people here have been doing this in many different ways. And actually, after the Break Decision mission, some people went to the West Bank and they're sharing out their stories here, so many things. So, but I would like actually to hear from everyone else this.
I have tried. I mean, I went to Jordan and I wanted to go from Jordan. It did not work. And also I never tried again after because of my basically of my activism. It's very simple to Google my name and see what my activism about.
Yeah, I like Tiago said, there are a lot of people who don't have the legal right to enter Palestine. It comes down to our skin color, our surname, our religion, or at least our perceived religion. So it's a privilege to be able to visit the stolen lands, the occupied lands. But inshallah, we'll be there shortly.
Yes.
Inshallah. Thank you. Dr. Mazen, your question, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Really an honor to be with you and see many familiar faces and good people. Bless you for your efforts. I just wanted to ask if it's on the website, if you can have clearer directives for and contacts for media or consulates or other things, like a mini kind of manual for activism that you can put together, or somebody can volunteer to put together to make it easier for activists to mobilize around this issue.
If I could answer that. First, Mazen, great to see you. Mazen was on our 2018 flotilla, and I think it was in Naples down to Palermo that you were kind enough to join us on that. But we certainly can put up the nationalities of all of the people that will be on this final leg, and the consulates of those countries in the country you're in. It would be good to call them to say, hey, are you helping out a person that's on that boat that is from your nation? So about all we can do is put the nationalities on. Then it would be up to you all that are living in many countries to just check what the consulate for those countries are, and call. Good idea. Thank you very, very much. It is useful. It is amazing. And to make sure that you call the parliaments of the countries of the people that'll be on this last leg. So we'll be posting very quickly the bios, the pictures of the participants, and some of the crew members that will be on the final leg. We don't have it up yet, but when we do, that will give you the indication of where you can work. It also has a very interesting thing with it. It will have a video that says, if you see this video, this means that I have been taken by the IOF or some country, to give you an idea that this is, it's real life, that we are really doing some very, very strenuous work, dangerous work on behalf of the people of Palestine. So we'll put much more up on those websites, and thank you for the idea. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to give the last question to our Palestinian intern, Roshan.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. My name is Roshan. I am intern with NVI. I'm from Nablus, Palestine. I currently have been living in Jordan for less than a year. I got married here. It's not a question, but maybe if I could ask it as a question, it's a suggestion. I've been following Freedom Flotilla for a while. I knew it from Yasmin. I've been following Yasmin at the beginning. And I noticed that there's a lot of, most of the speech is in English. And since it's about Palestine, I was always wondering if there is someone from the boat, from Hamdallah, could speak in Arabic to the Palestinians to give them some hope and to show them that you are connecting with the Palestinians. Because I've been talking to a lot of Palestinians about Freedom Flotilla and they have no idea about it. And I'm like frustrated all the time about that. And even to Jordanians here. And I'm visiting Palestine soon in a few weeks, and I'm gonna do it again. And again, I'm gonna talk about it more. But so my question is there videos or like any kind of approach in Arabic? Are you willing to do it as well? That's my question.
I can take that question. Nice to meet you. Salam. So we have a very small team, and it's no excuses, but it just means that we can't translate a lot of our content. But we have been able to, in some instances, send to translators who are also volunteering to help out the social media team. And I actually recently produced a video with an amazing woman from Gaza who unfortunately her daughter and husband were both murdered by the IOF recently. I was living with her in Dublin, and we were able to work together to make a video completely in Arabic, and that really meant the world. I'm fully aware that we should be doing more of that. The pace of things at the moment is very fast. It has been since we've all set foot to join. And it means that, at least through my perspective, you know, as someone who's been shooting, editing, producing, scripting, reporting, traveling, once I finish something, it's kind of on to the next. But if we had a bit more help in that capacity, that would be absolutely amazing. I would be more than thrilled for that to happen. So if anyone knows of someone that has that ability and time, we would need someone who could be quick, and obviously they would need to be vetted and all of that. But yes, please. So do keep in touch if you can. I would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
So
real quick, Yasmin, is that Yasmin and Rashwan, this is Khalid. If for whatever reason I end up making it on this trip, I do fluently speak, read, and write the Arabic language. So being on the Alhamdulillah, I could try my absolute best translating things in Arabic as need be. So just want to, that's another thing I have on my resume or on my skills.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want to say, I want to say that the beautiful thing about what we're doing is community and building a nonviolent community and networking and connecting with each other. And so I actually, as Roshan's director, because she's an intern, I'm gonna volunteer her to also help in writing some of the Arabic posts.
Let's do it.
For the Freedom Flotilla. Wonderful.
I know, Roshan, does that answer your question?
Yes, I wanted to thank you. I just wanted to thank you, and I was going to suggest if you need any help or we can connect later. Yeah.
Shukran. Thank you so much. I would love that.
Thank you. I know that there is a lot of interest to what's happening with the Freedom Flotilla, but we do need to come to a closing. of our community meeting for today. I do want to say that we will continue to create more webinars, more meetings, with all efforts, with various groups trying to break the siege in Gaza and the activism of nonviolence that is happening and co-resistance movements that are happening in the West Bank as well. This is very important for us to continue to promote and engage in advocating for this work to continue to happen. I also want to encourage everyone here to continue to promote the Freedom Flotilla and to raise funds for the Freedom Flotilla through Nonviolence International. We are honored to be the fiscal sponsors of this amazing group, as well as many other groups. And so there is a link for the Freedom Flotilla to support it financially. As Ann said, this is a very big undertaking. There's a lot of costs that are connected to it. And so please continue to support the work. Nonviolence International website has a link, and you could go directly to it and to support it. At the end, I really want to thank all of you for joining us today. I want to thank all of you for your commitment to peace and justice and nonviolence. We need all of you to continue to work, and our call is to work even harder and harder and never give up to make that future dream possible. And so thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for being here. There will be a recording of this webinar available. We want to ask you to spread this amazing conversation we had today to the global community. Thank you, everyone on Hamdallah. We pray for you. We honor you. We are so grateful for what you're doing. And you are, without words, a leader in this global movement. Thank you for all the work that you have done. And so with this, I would like to ask all of you to maybe unmute yourself and in your language, yell as often as we can as we say goodbye, freedom for Palestine. Al-Hurriya Palestine.
Freedom for
Palestine.
Freedom for
Palestine.
For Palestine.
Freedom for Palestine.
Whole world.
Palestina
Freedom for
libre.
Palestine. Freedom for Palestine.
Palestine.
Palestine le'olam, le'olam.
Free Palestine.
Freedom for Palestine.
Freedom for Palestine.
Palestine.
My heart is with you.
Freedom for the world.
Every child matters.
Gaza.
Freedom for
West Bank.
Palestine.
Freedom.
Gaza. Freedom
Victory
for all
to the
humanity.
Handala.
Starts with
Victory to the
Palestine.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
Thanks
you.
to Nonviolent
Thank you.
International.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
Inspiring.
Bye, Palestine.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
No liberation without Palestinian liberation.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye, Ann.
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Good luck to
Salamat
everybody in
bispalas.
Malta.